What is good? This is Archangel Raphael, aka Jesus Christ, Buddha, Krishna, Shiva, Muhammad, as well as other known deities sending out the body. And as well as usual, I'm here to carry out God's will, authority, purity, and essence. So today, I'm in a certain space before I change the space to a different space. So I want to elaborate on a few things and conceptual ideas that are created in the mind. So concepts and reality are two dualities, because reality is just, and concepts are imagination. So concepts are not inherently bad, and reality isn't inherently far away from touch. So when you bring these two together, you come into a total presence within existence and reality. Then concepts, imagination, and reality. You could say God is reality. Because God is not within reality, God is reality. God makes up reality. So not tiptoeing off one end or the other is, how do you know which side of the piece of the puzzle is you? Which side is something to attribute and something not to attribute at the right place, in the right time, in the right situation? In order for you to actually gain and be able to receive the certain knowledges that are all around you, you have to be receptive to it. So you have to have the imagination. You have to be able to create the concepts and the ideas and really dive in deep into that. At the same time, you have to be kind of stern. You have to be decisive, but also, what's that word? It's like being able to tell things. I can't remember the word, but it's just being able to discern. That's what I meant to say. Which is really just pointing to being able to rationalize and logically put your input into what is and what isn't in the situation that you're in, whatever that situation may be, in order for you to actually transcend over that and come into a whole new entire field of reality. But you have to also put it into perspective of what is reality. You have to be in that space of getting right all the way through. You can't be in your imaginative, creative-like state when you're deciphering the truth of what is reality and what is right in front of you, within you, all around you, which inherently makes up God, or what the idea or the imagination of what God can feel like and take you to. So, one thing to make sure within everything that you're going through is to not put any sort of leverage outside of yourself, because that's you giving your power away. That's you taking away God's purpose and God's divinity of what God has planned for you, because God lives through you as a vessel. You wouldn't be alive, you wouldn't even be created if that wasn't the case. Now, yes, some vessels come into physical formation through existence that don't even need to be, you could say, experiencing life, because they add that element of destruction and taking away of life. But when you really zoom out and look at things from a bigger picture, like Hitler and Kim Jong-un and all of that, and other people that are in those positions, they served a role for humanity to evolve through those inherent evils into bigger realms of imagination, which then they could reach the logical viewpoint of understanding of reality from there in that place. So now there's lots of people right in front of us who are shifting to a new way of being, a new way of eating, and they're eating in a whole different way. They're behaving, they're just changing their lifestyles in a whole different way because of the transformation they had to go through because of these certain people that came into existence. So you can't necessarily say one thing is all bad and one thing's all good, but you have to be able to come into yourself to know that both sides are important at all places, so that you can be in this space of creating continually but effortlessly, of what is just. So if you want cruelty to not be around you, you have to practice non-cruel lifestyles, and that means you taking responsibility. That means you taking full accountability of all your actions. That means you actually stepping into a higher field of not just thinking, but also imagining what feels right. So once you imagine what feels right, the right thoughts and the right ideas will then come into formation as well. So it's like an effortless chain of events of manifestation and creation that you kind of just flow yourself into through righteous behaviors and through righteous wills that you are continuously wrapped up in. Which the opposite end of that is you getting wrapped up in things outside of yourself and worldly events and things taking place, but not necessarily to say that you shouldn't either. So it's about what you do in the way you're gonna do it, but you gotta be true to yourself. You gotta come back to yourself at the end of the day. You gotta look yourself in the mirror, and a lot of people are not going to do that simply because they're believing the opposite end of the truth, which is things outside of them are governing them. Things outside of them is what is shifting their lives in the way that it has been and is going to. So it's almost like a full regression and a never-ending spiral downwards into, you could say, the abyss. Or what you rather should put into your place, put into place and put it into a state of growth and state of afflicting into harmony states of what is real to you is going to be the opposite end of that. You really being able to sit down with yourself and discern what it is that you want. Why do you want these things? And why do you value the things that you so deem to be so fitly and just righteous to yourself? So it's a deep inward and outward look that you got to do with yourself. Thank you. And what I have found is it's really easy to create people, places, and things all around you when you are in this space that will support you and nurture and all of the qualities that you hold so dearly to help you evolve. It'll be able to be received through these people, places, and things and events all around you properly, and then it'll just turn into a whole movie scene where you're the director, you're the actor, you're the everything, you're the editor, you're the one painting the picture, you're the one doing the whole thing. So without further ado, just short little quick message before I hop out and change my environment again. Peace, love, and enlightenment, as well as usual. Be yourself. Don't be no one else, because ain't no one else better to be anyways. You got the power. The truth is right in front of you. Don't run away and don't hide. Seek and ye shall find. Knock and it's answered. You feel me?